Number one, I would say thinking you can help everyone. I talk to clients all the time that say, oh, but I can help him or I can help her. But the question is like, we qualify for pain budget decision. Everybody has some level of pain. The question is the impact of that pain on them and their business enough to allow them to invest the time, money, and effort that it's going to take to implement your solution? And if you have a solution that costs $20,000 and they only have a $2,000 budget, you might be able to help them, but if they can't pay for your help, it doesn't make sense to continue having that conversation with that customer. Does that resonate?
Because when you started talking about this, the thought that came up to me and you sort of addressed it is that so frequently we will do a presentation, we will talk to people, and then we'll ask, okay, what is the budget that we have to keep in mind? And it's like, I don't know. What do you think? Or I don't know. Give me different options. Do you proceed at that stage, or do you say, well, I can't help?
No, it's a great point. Number one, I'd ask you or I'd coach you, stop using the word budget. Budget leads to a mindset of limitation, right? When you start talking about budget, people think, I only have this much money to spend, so they become pretty parsimonious. If you talk about investment, investment implies that there's a return on that investment. So start talking about how much are you willing or able to invest to resolve these problems, and what do you think the return is going to be? So again,
that helps immediately because I do talk about budget and not investment. Yeah.
And that, what do you think that return is going to be, goes back to that, what's the impact on your organization? If you don't solve this, what do you think it's costing you? And so it's important to get to that impact question before they ask their question before you get into a budget conversation. Because in my world, I could talk to a head of sales and he'll say, well, if I don't resolve this, it's costing me $10 million. That's great because my solution might only cost them $100,000. So I guarantee you, anybody out there in the world, if you said if you invest $100,000, you can get a $10 million return, they're going to say yes every day of the week.
That's very true.
But if they say I have a budget of $100,000 and my solution costs $100,000, I might or might not get that deal.
A follow-up question maybe is not the common sort of like, what is the right word? The most crucial mindset. You talked about head trash. What is the most crucial mindset that we need as business owners, or what do you see coming our way frequently, except for head trash?
So when you say that, what do you mean?
So in other words, when we go out, what is a crucial mindset that we need to have when approaching sales? What helps us to think about sales in a more positive perspective?
So a couple of things. Like I said, your initial meetings are about discovery. So it's thinking more about what do you need to learn than what do I need to pitch and tell.
Yeah.
And it's through the questions that you're asking. If your questions are really insightful, you're going to get your prospect saying things like, wow, that's a great question, or wow, I've never thought of that, or wow, can you tell me more about that? Now, they're inviting you to provide information, right? They're looking at you as that trusted advisor versus you saying to them, hey, have you ever thought about, in my world, have you ever thought about using competency assessments to grade your sales team? Competency assessments are great. They can do this and that and the other thing, right? Now I'm into feature and benefit, and your defenses are going up like, oh, he's just trying to sell me something I'll probably never use.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Totally, very true. It's sort of like the difference between a me meeting versus a you meeting.
That's right. And another small change I can recommend to everybody. We hear it all the time, right? A salesperson will go in and start a meeting and saying, hey, Jaco, I'm so glad that you invited me in today, and looking forward to learning how I can help you. By saying how I can help you presumes I have a solution for you.
Yeah.
And that means I'm going to spend the next hour trying to tell you why you should use my solution. The small shift I would coach everyone to make is, hey, Jaco, thanks for inviting me in today. Happy to sit down and talk, learn a little bit more about your business to see if what I do is even a fit. Now we're going to have a more open conversation because I've taken the pressure off of you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to force fit a solution onto you. We're going to talk about you, we're going to talk about me, and together we're going to decide if there's a fit between what you need and what I do.
Very true, because so many times we think there's a gap before determining there's a gap.
Yeah. That's why the pain trigger questions are so important. The pain trigger questions are asking, does this resonate with you? Are you concerned about that? So you're asking right up front if they have that problem. If they do, then you say, tell me more about that. If they don't, then you say something like, well, what are some of the issues that you might be facing today? Why did you call me in? Why did you want to have this meeting?
Absolutely. I'm just looking here in the chat to see if there are any questions. Jerry, I noticed you said, will we be able to get a copy of the deck? Yes, as soon as we've cleaned up the video, then we will share the video, a recording of the video as well as the slide deck. Dave wants to book a follow-up meeting with you. That's good. Thank you for that, Bruce. Station.
So Jaco, before everybody has to jump off, maybe you want to share our next webinar next month.
Okay, I'll gladly do that. On Thursday, June the 12th, I will be speaking on the topic of online visibility and cracking the code to become visible online. And you may think, why? Think of it from this perspective. Every single day, just on the Google network, there are 13 billion searches. So the question is not anymore whether people are searching for your products and your services. The only question is when they are searching, are they finding you? Or I'll be addressing that.
Awesome. And as we said at the beginning, I'm happy to stay on if people have a few more questions that they wanted to ask. But otherwise, thank you all very much for attending. I appreciate the positive feedback. And like I said, if anybody's open for a conversation about their sales process, happy to schedule that with you.
I love the comment by Sue, learned new skills to implement and apply immediately. I love it. Dave, thank you very much.
All righty.
Let's see, we still have quite a few people on. Anybody else who want to come off and ask questions?
All right.
So Dave, we're seeing an evolution in tools out there for salespeople on AI. I mean, more than just ChatGPT, and it's improving all the time. What tools are you seeing out there in your clients that are really working well?
Yeah, as I said, the one I'm most excited about is the one I briefly showed at the end there. We're partnering with a provider called Udly to do the role play, the AI-enabled role playing coaching. That's going to be a game changer. Jordan earlier mentioned Fathom as the note taker. Saves so much time, and I use it all the time. I need to go back and refer to the notes Fathom is taking and the action items because we're all so busy every day. We can't always capture that on our own. Zoom Info is a great database for figuring out, once you've identified your ideal client or customer profiles, where do you get their data, their email, their phone numbers? But Zoom has also rolled out a feature called Intent, where they can tell you, in my case, people who are specifically looking or doing searches on sales training or sales development. And that, again, is a game changer for reaching out to people in the moment they're looking for your product or services.
Oh, I hear you on intent. That is specifically,
Well,
when you know somebody's intent, it changes your messaging.
That's
It's
right.
but we're also
absolutely
seeing, and this is where you see, I was talking with Python scripts and everything, but you're seeing that the development of internal intent using internal data. A lot of us don't use our own internal data, especially in larger organizations who make all their salespeople collect it, but they don't use it.
Yeah.
So you pair that up with something like Zoom Info and lead scoring and other things, and you end up getting some powerful tools to make yourself and your organization more efficient.
Dave, Grammarly. I mean, especially, I'm from a different culture and English is not my first language. I cannot tell you how actively Grammarly is helping me to improve my language.
Well, Jaco, I sometimes think it's your third or fourth, but that's
I think on that note, I'm just closing down this.
I'm kidding, Jaco, you know that.
I know that. I joke and say, I'm from Africa. I have a skin as thick as a rhino. I can take a lot. Okay.
That's okay. English is my second language too, but I don't have a first.
Yeah, Dave, I would add that Udly, I've been using Udly for a few years. It's very good for providing feedback on speeches and presentations and stuff. So it's a good tool. It's got a few quirks here and there, but overall it's a good product. So that's a good partnership, I think.
Yeah. No, I like I said, like the coaching feedback still needs work. I think that's just getting more people using it and providing feedback to the model. But otherwise, I think, like, I've talked to other trainers who use it in their training, and they tell everybody in the class, go home and role play your upfront contract and send me the recording when you get a score of 70 or higher. So the people who have it down can do it in one take and they're done. People who really need the work have to iterate 4 or 5 or 6 times to get it right. And it's that repetition and that practice that gets them where they need to be.
Okay.
All right.
Dave, just to let you know, really great comments from people about the content, very valuable. people took away a lot. And I must say, just from listening to this, it's absolutely usable right now.
Awesome.
Yeah, I am.
Hello, Maxime. I just wanted to check. I sent you an email and it was rejected by your system. Is there a way we can somehow resolve that?
Yeah.
Please subscribe. The whole presentation is at modernideasforbusiness.com. You can also find information on past and upcoming speakers,